So now I'm going to walk you through our reporting service. Um, I re You'll notice that I refer to the reporting service in this particular slide presentation as report the old way. After we go through reporting the old way, we're going to talk about reporting the new way. What's really exciting is that we just launched Monday of this week a new way of reporting, and we have been receiving some very positive feedback about it. What's wonderful about it is, and some of you may have already created an account and logged into MyLion and attempted to report service or fully completed service reporting. Well, we've been listening to the feedback. We've been listening to, hey, it takes a little bit longer, it's a little bit more cumbersome, and we've started listening to a lot of the feedback we've been getting, and what we wanted to do was make sure that we focus on what's going to make it the best reporting service we can with the system that we have. And what's really great is we simplified the reporting process. We did create a situation where you're able to, if you want to, continue to report the old way. The old way also is very much the process is if you want to plan an activity, which we're really not getting into in this webinar, but it's the same process to do that. So I'm going to walk you through the old way of reporting, and then we're going to take a look at the new way. As mentioned earlier, this is the system you come to, or the screen you come to when you've logged in, and you're going to go ahead and select Go on the MyLion application. And when you do that, you're going to log into this home page of MyLion, and at the top, you're going to see Report Past Activity. You're going to go ahead and click on Report Past Activity. And when you do that, you land in the Report Past Activity page. The reason it lands you here is because you want to see all of the activities that may still be unreported. If you're an officer, you're able to report those. So you're going to be able to see them here. Anyone that has been started that still need to be reported. An activity will land here if it has passed. We only report activities that have happened in the past. Those activities that have been reported for your club are at the bottom of the page, and you're welcome to go view those and make sure that they look good. Up in the right-hand corner is the Create Past Activity button. That now has changed to look like a different button, but it does the same process as what we're about to see. We're going to report a past activity from scratch. And when you click on that report button in the old way, you're going to be brought through what I refer to as a wizard. It's going to take you step by step through reporting this activity. So the first thing you need to select is the type of activity. We have three options right now. We have service activity, fundraiser, or meeting. We're going to go ahead and select service activity and click continue. And then we need to select the cause. Any one of the 5 causes is available. And if your activity doesn't fit into one of those, we have an other option. We're going to go ahead for this purpose and select diabetes and click continue. The next is based on the cause you've selected. The system then prompts you all the various service types available, or excuse me, project types available that you can select. And if it doesn't fit into one of the categorized service projects, you can select the other as well. But we're going to go ahead and select one and click continue. The next page is the detail page of the activity. You're going to go ahead and fill in all the information about the activity. The date range must be in the past. The system will not let you report something in the future. It must be a past date range. If you wanted to, you can go ahead and select to add a photo. We have default pictures that follow your activity, but you're welcome to upload your own photo. There's a privacy settings at the bottom where you can select if you want everybody to see your activity or search for it or find it. And then when you're done entering all your details, you're going to click continue. The
And
next page is, go ahead, Jerome.
is continue going to always in the old system going to be there on the top right hand or the bottom right hand?
In the old way, you'll notice that there's always two continue buttons, one at the top and one at the bottom. Either one will function the same.
I hope when we get to the new one, it's easier because I always have a hard time finding those whenever I'm reporting. But I'm excited about the new system that you're going to talk about shortly.
Well, one of the feedback I've already received from one of my district governor lions that I communicate with often is he sent me an email and said, "Oh my gosh, I don't have to click continue," and he had about 5 exclamation points after that. So it is a frustrating process to hit continue all the time and find it. Are you at the top or the bottom? So all of that has been removed with the new process. So I'm excited to show you as well.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome. So because we're entering an activity in the past, we now are able to go straight into the Celebrate and Share screen. And just remember this little piece of information. The reason that I'm getting this far is because I am a reporting officer. A reporting officer of a club is the person who can go ahead and enter the final details and select report, which then sends the report to headquarters. So the Celebrate and Share screen with all of the beneficiary information, the hours information, and all of the actual data that you'd like us to collect is now on this page. So you're going to go ahead and type that in and click continue. Finally, we give you a preview page just to make sure everything looks good. If something needs to be changed or altered, you can go ahead and click. There's a go back button, but otherwise you can just click and submit. Or I think it's a submit. Maybe it's a report button, my bad. The button at the top or the bottom is now referred to as a report. Go ahead and click that. And the system will let you know that you are reporting your service. And if you're comfortable with everything, you click submit and you're done. Your service has been reported. The next section is the exciting one. So we just went through several screens of how to report an activity. With the new way, that is very much reduced. And so I'm excited to show you what released on Monday and what we're receiving very positive feedback from already. So let's go ahead and walk through the new way. When you go ahead and log in and land on the home page, you're now going to see that the report past activity is right in the forefront on the menu structure. So go ahead and click report past activity.
And
You
Liz,
will be
Liz, if they still want to plan an activity, publicize it, send emails and things of that nature, that feature is still there. But for us that just have gotten in the habit of taking and reporting our service activities only when we completed them, then we have this simplified form. Is that right?
You're absolutely correct. One of the confusing things that happened when MyLion was launched was we introduced this brand new concept of planning a future activity. And the way that it was structured was there were two flows. There was a report past activity, which is what most officers and lions have done in the past. It's once something has happened, you go ahead and you report it. But the plan feature was a new concept, and we wanted to give lions an opportunity to use a planning feature where the actual activity hasn't happened yet. And through that planning process, we allow you to download planner, PDFs to help you plan an event. Maybe it's something new you haven't tried before. Those planners are out there for you to download. There's the invitations of inviting other people in other clubs to your activity. There's a lot going on in the plan future activity. We're not focusing on that tonight, but that is definitely still available, and it is out there for use.
Thank you.
So with that said, if we go into the report past activity, we land back on that report past activity page, but notice now that the report button is nice and big and red. This is like a very clear definition of we're going to report an activity that happened in the past. So we click on the report button and we are now brought to a very simplified single report page. And what's really exciting about this page is that you do not have to walk through a wizard and click continue. It's all right here. And if you are a reporting officer, you can click on that button and enter all of your details right now. There's a few additional enhancements we made to the report form. One of them is the system is basically hide show. So you're only seeing the minimum of information that you need to enter. And if you need more, the system will show you more fields. An example of that is if you happen to select, your activity type is service activity and your cause is hunger, now you will see the beneficiaries and the hours and all of that will come up, all the metrics you want to enter. We also have simplified the required fields versus what's optional. So it's really exciting because you're only going to see what you need to see to finish your report. The red fields are what you need to save the report. And if you look at the bottom, there is a save key down there. So if you start entering your report and you find, oh my gosh, I'm missing some information, I'm going to have to go check on that, you can save your report at any time. If you, as long as you have the minimum fields that are in red. To report your activity, there are some, they're hard to see probably on this particular page, but there's a little red asterisk next to any of the items that are required to report the activity to LCI. Another feature that we added, which is really exciting, is the photo opportunity at the bottom. You now can upload multiple photos of your activity. You're not limited to just one. So that's a very exciting feature that we added as well. So once you've entered all of your details, you can just go ahead and select the report button. It tells you you've successfully submitted it and you're done. You land on the report page. You now will find your activity in the reported section. And again, any of the unreported activities still waiting are up at the top.
Liz, let me ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
You use the term reporting officer. What does that mean at the club level? Which officers are allowed to report service activities?
That's a great question. So the reporting officers at the club level are the club president, the club secretary, the club service chair, and the club administrator. We also have the Leo Club advisor on behalf of the Leo Club. We have the Leo president, the Leo secretary. And then we also have, if you're in an area where you have a district administrator or a multiple district administrator, those positions can also enter on behalf of a club.
That's awesome. Let me ask another question too. You're doing a great job and beautiful job. Is every member allowed to put in some of the information and then just the reporting officers are able to review it and report it to LCI? Or is it just the reporting officers that can enter the information from begin to end?
So at this point in time, that's a great question. Any member can help plan a future activity. And if a member goes into plan and enters all of the details of an activity and helps promote and advance that activity, once the date has passed, it moves into the unreported activities list. Only an officer can go in and report it. A member can only view it. They cannot actually enter or edit it just yet. That is an enhancement we want to do in the future, where members can help edit and update activities for an officer. But the reporting key would only occur for a reporting officer. Does that answer your question, Jerome?
It does. It does. So if I'm a member eh, of a club and I want to plan that activity, I can go in under the planning and plan it in advance. And then once it happens, the reporting officer comes back in and adds the impact numbers and how many people were involved in his report. And all of the members then have helped me to do my job as the reporting officer. But I'm sort of the gatekeeper to make sure that good quality information is reported to LCI.
You got it. That's exactly right.
And we have one question that's been typed in the chat box if before we move on, if you don't mind. And it says, is there a button to report an activity as a signature activity?
So back on the reporting page, I'm going to go ahead and go to the previous page. You will see that there is a signature activity selection here, and it is a checkbox. All you need to do is select that checkbox a yes, and you will have flagged that activity as your signature activity.
Awesome. And a lot of times when I'm talking to Lions, they ask, how do you define a signature activity? And I don't know. I guess I'm asking you for your definition because my definition has been it's something that you do on a recurring basis that your club is known for in the community. But what's the official definition?
I think that's pretty much it, Jerome. I really do believe that that is the actual definition of a signature activity. The confusion often comes with MyLCI in the old way, way old way, when we used to report in MyLCI, the signature activity was used in a very different way, and it was not expected to be used as necessarily a copy feature or something that could just like pre-fill other activities. It was really meant for just what you said, an reoccurring activity that your club is known for that you want to flag as a signature for your club. And so what we've done in the MyLion is try to streamline and have everyone using it consistently. So what you'll find in MyLion is that you can create an activity, flag it as a signature activity, and we have a duplicate or a copy feature that allows you to copy so that you don't have to recreate every activity from scratch. You can go ahead and duplicate something. It will pull over the signature flag and just continue your signature activities and make it even easier to report as you do those activities.
I am so impressed that our staff has listened to the Lions of the world as we have worked together to perfect or bring this system closer to perfection. Thank you so very much for doing that for us. There has been another question that has been typed in the chat box, and that is, how can a club report a donation? I'm assuming that's a donation that a club is making to a charitable cause in their community. It's just a financial. We've been talking a lot about the hands-on service projects, which Lions are known for, but for those times that we write a check to support another project, how would we go about doing that?
That's an excellent question. And as a Lion myself, I report the service for my club, and we often donate quite a bit. And as part of that, I recognize that it's challenging to refer to our donation as a service activity, but that is exactly what we do. We create a service activity, and one of the options in the metrics is to enter the funds donated. And then in my description, I would explain what we've donated and to whom benefited. What we've done in the new way is we're actually getting better, and soon in the very near future we are going to add a new activity type so that you do not have to refer to it as a signature activity. You could actually refer to the activity type as a donation. So we would have service activity, fundraiser, meeting, and donations. We're not quite there yet, but it's on its way. So until we get that released to you, I would recommend selecting service activity and then using the donation metric box to enter the donation you've made.